my wife until this year, and I've already hit two.
Oh, wow.
One in the coming truck, one in my personal vehicle, so it's gotta pay attention. See a deer on the side of the road, you don't know what it's gonna do, it is an animal. You might think you can blow the horn, it's gonna run you over the road, run over the deer. They're going in the rut, they're running across the road. You see a deer cross the road, we've got a deer. That car hit the deer, pushing into our lane of travel. We hit the deer. So
Wow.
he's got to pay attention to what you're doing all the time, and made out of plastic when you're right.
Yeah.
To battles and all and cow or something. Pay attention around it. Every afternoon, you should know where after you hear on the side of the road, just put it down. Had one this morning, guys tailgating, 4 foot behind me. He and it's not on brake, because to brake, he's not braking. He finally slowed down, but if you got to on the brakes for anything, it's like tailgating. You get rear end or you get whatever's in front of you. So just pay attention to surroundings, watch out for this stuff this time of year.
I see a deer, and or I should say, the deer hit me.
Most of the time, that's what happens, right to the side.
In my work car. I was out in the middle of nowhere that had sent me around like a 3-mile detour off that road. And as soon as I started driving down through there, I thought, wow, I am absolutely in deer country. It came, I mean, that was the fastest deer I'd ever seen. It hit so fast, I didn't even see it run off, and $2,500 damage. Thank goodness. It didn't bust my radiator.
Now you mentioned that, I didn't get either one of those, both of those. Run right, run the driver's side and run the passenger side, we ran the side. They're running and never slow down, they run right beside the vehicle.
You know, another thing too is when the deer hit me, there was a guy in a work truck. He just like kept going. And I'm out in the middle of nowhere by myself. Thank God my car still, you know, it didn't bust the radiator where I could drive it, but you know, just, you know, I know we're all worried about, you know, stopping and helping people, but you know, especially for a female out there, I was like, you help me out here. But that's all good. Oh, it's catching my transcript here. All right, let me. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's funny.
And can you write that down?
It's picking up the sound. I just don't need the transcript.
And with that, you're like.
Okay, all right, well, we'll into the Durham. I'm gonna go ahead and set this up and here's it. Okay. All right, so October. Okay. October's here and we are ready you all, but this is the time of the year for me for what's going to happen over into 2024. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we always like to bring awareness to this. I don't know if you in your family or within your lives that have dealt with breast cancer, but it's not just a disease for women, it's also for you men. And you'll note on that second bullet that 1 in 1,000 men have a risk of breast cancer. And of course, that is a low risk compared to women, 1 in 8. So please, if your wives or your girlfriends, please remind them that, you know, it's really important that annually to get that mammogram. So we are highlighting the whole month, and you'll know that it is pink representing that. Just wanted to let you all know that our Underground Review Board meeting, it will be held next week up at the office at NCA 11. You are able to attend that live. If not, you're able to dial in and listen in. I do have the honor to sit on that board representing NCA 11. So I am in, I guess, year 2 of that. And I'll be on there, I guess, for 6 more years. So we had a lot of cases start coming through. Some of the cases are contractors now members. We're calling out contractors, and we got homeowners calling out homeowners. So a lot of flurry going on right now. But at the end of the day, I'm about what's going on in just amazing. Community is number one. So if we really will learn 30K and soon on that. The other week we had court and basically we all said it again. We talked about everything that's going on, and I think that you guys have switched over to looking at why use software for what is going away. So no longer that information is so we didn't do the so there's many different options. So we are here to serve you all. We will be for you know what we're doing around the state. Things that are coming up. We talk about we kind of through and pretty much we trade and we kind of get in the business and we kind of go out like NCA or all right into data and state. So here and we try to change the record. I always look at together. Once we kind of got through COVID, if you remember, it switched. Business as usual, everybody running the finish line. So it has been game for yes. Stops. Here, this is in security and that's in a turning point where it is just as I get into the and it is unbelievable. This power. You guys are running to the finish line. Here first. Well, 2,000 tickets came in there last year. And we'll talk briefly about those transmissions. We are still on average 5 to 6 transmissions. Gas sent out every time it is. That's a lot of money that locates on transmissions. So our focus is I'm really just trying to really help you understand the ticketing system. If you're not actively working, these members are having to push the bill. And if you're not working, put those tickets in there. Because the locators can't volume. You can't throw this problem. As you see here on that bottom, the updates, we look at update tickets because we have found that a lot of update tickets are just kind of work. Well, if I can't go here, just in case I'm gonna put a ticket in over here, and you're not actively working. 29% last month, but it's been up on average anywhere from 30 to 32%. We did a slight decrease, but 6,620 days that I'm continuing my work at 15 working days. So that equates to what, weeks worth of and so you're been hard to try to reduce that. I have it in there. Bless you. For the year to date, we are already $2 million, 8,623 days. That's a lot of, and that's a lot of money being spent. That's already up 6% last year. So that means we 6 to 10%. I think as long as our weather is beautiful as it is, you gotta get out there, and not to mention the fact that we've not had rain. So you're ready for work. All right. So when we look at missions, we landed at 1,187,317. So I mentioned over in Chapel Hill, we just even average. You see how it, the year over there. So somewhere around 77,800,000. So that's first thing contractors with these seeing picture. Or you get volume, that means a lot of here you and I ran off 3%. No, I don't have hospital.
3 hours to get, also,
Transition of
that's why they don't look responsible, so I think they want. Seriously. Yeah, in the memory.
yeah. Who gets paid? So you don't look at
They don't.
contract, depending upon the contract, they may not get paid for the 3 hours.
Well, they look at it, they look at it.
The member is paying the transition. Okay.
That's what I'm asking. One, a.
If we're doing it, we're paying Southern Cross.
Well, you could use other cross for.
Our regional here are. We don't see enough, tickets for Cross, but if we do the Southern Cross, they want both tickets.
I we call a ticket and they don't respond. They call 3 hours.
The member is paying for a transition. Okay. But it would be right between the member and they have a contract located whether they pay or do some don't.
I'd love to hear about it. Yeah. Hey,
In that group. Okay,
look,
and I understand what are you being, okay, so, and that I get that part.
we're not whole. Yeah. I think now they're gonna have to,
Okay,
how the people.
so let me take, ask that you do this. And I appreciate you being here, because really, that's the whole point of these UCC meetings, you can spaces, locators, we're trying to get them here so that when you are, not getting issues that we're seeing is like or could I ask that maybe maybe it's perfect. And so the next thing, and some additional tickets in it. Just install that's a lot of paper. All your the same time.
That, I can't do my 10 tickets.
Well, what you're saying that they're being, here's the discussion. Okay, you're picking up the technology. You're going and you're putting this in, that's wonderful technology. We have. They, so if you're throwing that many tickets into the system, I'm telling you, they can't keep up. There's no humanly possible way. And you're on the issue, it is a whole national industry because this type of technology has allowed to just bam, 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 put it in the ground.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're pushing you.
Yeah.
I understand that.
The one reason I tell you something that when I watch out, and I agree, I can say that.
Yeah, keep in mind, from just one contractor. If they're, like I talked to on a piece and he said, we're keeping up with, keep up with MetroNet area. We're sick. There's gonna be other fiber contractors come in. He said, because we can't handle it. And it is just got such an, element that it's uncontrollable. So that's why I'm very frustrated. And if somebody, just outside the box, cause better. I'm gonna say, you can be this because the system is designed to handle it. I mean, you guys, there's ITS, there's, you got all the AT&T projects. You got, Verizon, I mean, and all of these areas that, had this kind of activity before. Urban fiber that go out to their county and now back there county, do they go out there? Locators. So when you're deploying to these areas, what needs to happen now is communication. First say, hey, I'm here. Together, let's have a big discussion. Yeah, you they need to know you need to do this. There's not so much to the members. It's the members' responsibility to do this. These are the expectations. You're getting a third month. I remember that's what happened. And I was in CCs where I thought they outside and that case. Yeah.
It's something that we've been doing for years.
But it's kind of I've been with this. It's all just yeah.
Before change.
But you have the project now about the fiber overview. I mean, I talked to the guy, on the AT. I mean, they're working for them, and he said, we're changing everything out DSL fiber, and I mean, we're a dedicated drop. So imagine and her having the ground. You tell me what to do, how to get your stuff in the ground. 10 days. So, that And all those kids, which I say, your back's against the wall. I really heard all this. You know, I'm just, you're in your Taylor area. It's in multiple counties, because that's where all the broadband's going to. And I mean, it's in some counties that, you know, they have one locator, and that's it. Just like there, and that's the issue that they have up there, so. Anyway. We keep throwing in this, those just in case tickets. Or for that locator, and it becomes bigger, and now he's got to decide, or she's got to. People that I'm out there trying to get them to call before they dig, and now they're going to lose confidence in the whole system. So we're just trying to get everybody to see the big picture. So here's where we've landed. And I don't, it's not showing on that screen, but average of 131 tickets per day, locates per day here in Durham County. Wake County, May County, you're talking 1,500 tickets a day. So the volume up there is unbelievable. So what we're seeing here is there were 1,930 new tickets that came in. So that'd be brand new, supposedly brand new work, 37.5% up compared to the same time last year. Will that help you move it over? Oh, there you go. Yay. Thank you. Man with a plan. Nice.
You think they would fix it, they have to do it.
It really so won't.
Send an email out this morning, hoping to get this fixed.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad now that I know how we didn't have that issue down at the other location, so, okay. Thank you. 3 hours are 68, which, you know, if you look compared to the same time last year, that was less, but the updates, 964. So, you know, a lot of those tend to go hand in hand with each other. I had a long conversation. So you may say, well, what do I do? I put my ticket in, I waited 3 days. I placed my 3-hour ticket, no response. What do I do? That's when you guys have to make a decision. The law, that's all the law says. And so if, you know, if you feel like that you can safely dig, the law allows your decision. It's your decision. So document, you know, be conscious of what's in the area. I mean, certainly I hope you wouldn't be digging if you're, you know, you're seeing gas in the area or there's power. You know, just be extra careful. But at the end of the day, I realize people are having to make decisions because their back's against the wall. They need to get this stuff in the ground. So that's where we are at for month to date. When we look at year to date, wow, 28,143 tickets. So that's a 92% increase compared to the same time last year when you add everything up. Look at the amount of updates. Wow. 3 hours, 1,300. But even the new volume, so that shows you the amount of work going on all across Durham County. Where it's mainly located is here in Durham. Then we branch out over, I guess you guys have some stuff over in Raleigh and then Chapel Hill. So that's where the bulk of all the tickets are at, which makes for a lot of stuff. So here's the top 10 callers. I've been adding this for the last couple of months because I really want you guys to, you know, have that conversation of who, so that you know who all else is working in your area. ANSCO, they have the most amount of tickets in September, and all of these were really more on the buried drop side. So this wasn't even on the conduit in the ground. These were all buried drops. Prince Telecom, they're doing drops for Google. RH Underground conduit for Google. So, you know, you guys are just, I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3 of you all are working for Google. Southeast, that's all your stuff, Dominion, for, you know, gas services and mains. AT Utilities, they're working for Spectrum. They're placing cable in the ground, utility lines, and both of those together, 506. So really, that would throw it up to be number 4. They're doing stuff for Duke, and then there you guys are doing stuff, you know, for Google, obviously. 245 tickets, Advanced Boring, AT&T, and then ITS. I know you guys got a lot of stuff in there. I mean, it was a whole mix. Dominion, you guys are doing some stuff for Google too, right? So, and then that joint trench, which I love that you guys are doing that. That's mainly fiber. So, and looking at the amount of money that's being released, we hope in the next month to have kind of a map from, you know, from, I guess, the governor's office with that NCDIT to determine where these grants are going to. And then that way we can come and say, okay, there's a lot of money coming into this county. There's a lot of money coming into this county. I know I've got a fiber overbuild in my neighborhood that they've done aerial and then fiber to the home. Brightspeed's done that, and I see that they've gotten a grant for that. So, you know, we're gonna have a lot of neighborhoods. These drops are just gonna be, you know, everywhere. And you know, when I looked at some of these tickets, you would think that, okay, very drop, but the tickets are, it takes a while to locate that stuff because of the area that they've got to come from. You know, if they're going to that pedestal, that's not on that, you know, that's not on that one address. So as a locator, that takes a lot of time. So if you throw half of that neighborhood in there on that one locator, then you can't get started until he really kind of gets a lot of that stuff cleared. So that's why I'm saying, just try to meet with them. Say, hey, can you get me started here so I can get this crew going? And if I can get him going and, you know, get a little ahead of you, or let the locator get a little ahead of you, then y'all can just stay, you know, on top of each other. So communication, what we need. So now let's look at damages. When we look at the damages, you can see there's a trend across from 2022 to 2023. The blue is this year. It is kind of trending. It went up in March because, you know, our dig season really starts early here, and then actually came back down in April, which I hope that's due to, you know, education around Safe Digging Month. And then it kind of peaks back up. Still doesn't hit the way it did last year this time, but here we are, August, and now it's kind of coming back down. But I talked to one locator the other day, and he said, you know, good morning, out of the 35 tickets, 30 of them were due to the fact that we just didn't get there. We just didn't have the manpower. We couldn't get there. So those damages were caused from that because they made the decision to dig. I want to remind you all of all the tools that we have available. Remote ticket entry has asked me to let you guys know that all of this online stuff, you can request a destroy marks ticket, cancel a ticket, or request a 3-hour through revise. Revise is on the app, it's on the website. You can use Update Lite off of your app. And then of course you can request single address tickets. So just more tools that we have. All right. So, of course, Parrish is your liaison out here. He has been on some FMLA, getting a new bionic knee. So hopefully he will be back by the end of the month or mid next month. So in between then, if I can help you, please let me know. With that, I will turn it back over to you.
All right, good deal. Good. A lot of information there. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So I guess we just go around the room, Any concerns? Introduce yourself, and we just go around the room, let's talk with you, boss man.
Tyler with Speedy's Underground. No real concerns other than just taking my pain as much as we can. Communication is key, like you were saying, she was saying. You know, a lot of times, I said last month, I'll call 3 hours to get communication. Not to piss everyone off, but that's the only way I get communication. So if locators could reach out, because like you say, Durham County's got probably 20 locators in SIC. So I don't know who's on my job. I don't know who has the tickets. I don't know.
Right.
So if they can't get to it, just, bring with water, everybody, just reach out and we will plan. But without it, I can't
Tell
plan.
them exactly who you do need on the ticket. If you're looking for USIC for power, you need
Yeah.
power mark, stuff like that, that helps a lot, so we know.
On our end of it, hopefully gas is not holding y'all up.
No, I mean,
Should be staying on top of
At the end of the day, everybody else has done pretty good.
Yeah.
Just goes down to USIC. And like the guys that I know at USIC,
Supervisor up there.
the guys I know at USIC, I'll give them a call and they end up looking up the ticket for me, whatever, but, it's just, people have to be, it comes from both ways. It has to come from both ways.
Absolutely.
And that contact number, site contact is there for a reason, so that people can reach out to us.
Okay, thank you. City Auditor, City of Durham, located supervisor. Another group concern, just trying to protect our infrastructure.
Are you guys having any issues meeting your timelines of locating?
No, we're wide open, but, we're seeing to be meeting everything. We do have a contractor to assist us with a lot of the fiber work, and they handle a lot of that. So I hope everything's going good.
Grigsby,
There's a Keith Grigsby.
He
there's
calls
Stephen
me.
Horton.
every single time. He's great,
Great.
great. I get him a map and he does everything he needs to do.
That's
And,
great to hear.
that's the kind of communication. That's
Good to hear.
Chris Forsyth, Supervisor, South End.
I'm Scott Parker, new supervisor of the transmission group. But I'm still. But we're feeling the pain here when we get a lot of locates, but we do a good job of managing. We've got internal locators in Southern Cross Durham for a peak shading for us. They try to do all our major fiber tickets. We sort of manage that by, if we see them really getting too many tickets, we pull those back in the house and sort of help catch them up. So hopefully we're not having any issues, but we got tickets that are called in and they're having to be updated before they get located. We got issues.
yeah.
I have to reach out to Chris or myself, and you've got any of those issues, and we can help resolve
But
that.
I think that's a big thing is like, as a member, if you're seeing that they can't keep up with it,
Yeah.
you guys are helping. Nobody else. AT&T, those guys, none of them are behind the locators. Here you go, so I see it's your contract.
Myself, I pull web team as up every morning, so I mention it every morning. But at the end of the day, we don't want to see gas line get hit.
Yeah, of course.
If the contractor can't get to it, we're gonna get to it with one of our guys to make sure it's not. So, shut your job down. It's not safe, but we're trying to get our gas line located to make sure we're on top. But everything else is going good. We're busy and plenty of work going on.
James Shaw, IDS, Director of Operations. But, the biggest change I see, you talk about communication, it hasn't been that long ago where I knew every locator on every place that we worked.
Yeah.
We had their number, we call them, have jobs like that. You can say, hey, we're going from here to here today, and they worked with us. Now I can't tell you, like you said, you call somebody in and they're not on that job, they're somewhere else, and some of them were really good. They try to help you, but you're taking them from doing their job and you're moving somewhere else.
We used to have a supervisor with USIC coming in the meeting.
Yeah, they used to
Can't
come,
get
don't see
in
them.
now, but
And
last time I
Just called me.
yeah, they had like 20 different locators in Durham. I mean, they're,
Yeah.
don't tell them how many.
Yeah, they've had a lot of shift change on, there was one main supervisor down in the Winston area, he retired, Hugh Spinks. So they kind of, Pratt's kind of taken on some of that, they shifted people and, the amount of volume in, Alamance County, they've had to take locators from Guilford. So therefore it's putting a strain on Guilford You know, so I mean, I've heard it. I've heard it all across the state this month. It's unbelievable, the strain, but, my last conversation with the district manager is they've got several, you know, locating class going on. Hopefully those folks will come out. And then they'll have another one, I think, after Thanksgiving. So their goal was is by the end of the year, have 100 extra locators. But just keep in mind, you know, the productivity of a new locator is nothing compared to a seasoned one. So I think we all, you know, but at least they're working on it. And I'm sure they, you know, like you said, they got turnover and they're jumping ship and going to one utility that they only have to locate one thing.
And the scary part is you hire 100 locators. Next year, power drops off. 100 jobs will somewhere.
Oh, we're gonna go across off.
And
It's not.
it's got to go, they got to go off sooner or later.
It will, but not next year. We are just now getting started. So it is. Will it already be bad?
Yeah, I know that's yes. Couple of things I got good communication.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty well. And then you get bail.
The difference between locating and painting. We have a lot of painters out there. Big, huge.
I'm Butch Wolf. I'm the operations manager for the Durham region. I work with Chris and Scott. Got a new supervisor coming on, so you'll get to meet him next month, I suppose. You know, but getting stuff located, it's like Scott said, we just don't want stuff hit. You know, it's a, you know, it's dangerous when stuff's hit. And, you know, I'm much rather people slow down a minute and get up to somebody and make sure you got your stuff located. Because what can happen can be devastating, and we don't need that. None of us do.
And I will say on that point, reflection on y'all is, I hope we doesn't have, our hit lines have went down. You know, we went through a spell, we put paint on the ground, nobody was spotting the lines, they were blind born. That has improved tremendously. So thank y'all for that part of it. I mean,
We put in a lot more spot.
oh, 100%. And then the city of Durham helped out with that, so that's got a lot better. That gives us time to keep people located, not have to respond to hit lines too. So thank y'all for that.
If you ever had any problems, get one of us. We'll get somebody there.
I had a question on the 3 hours.
Yes, sir.
So the law says dig with care as long as you don't notice anything kind of.
You mean after the 3 hours?
Yeah, after the 3 hours. So if I call in the first 3 hour, I get no response. At that point, it's dig with care unless you notice utility, right?
Well, I can't interpret that for you. Unfortunately, you got to make that determination.
You know, the way it reads is, it says you place your ticket and then however, if you see evidence,
Right.
then you request a 3 hour. It doesn't say after that. So, you know, once again, you have to interpret what you feel like that means for company. Because, you know, can you prove that you dug with due care? And can you lay your head down at night knowing that your operators, you did the right thing with those operators, you know, on that. Like you take them to the edge of the cliff and, you know, jump. So, it's just you gotta make that decision, you know. If you're digging around gas, I mean, certainly I would hope you would make a decision.
Sorry, yeah.
And even powered. You know, the two that I had an issue with, one of the other operators, or excuse me, contractors, was there were, you know, two people that weren't getting, you know, the
locates board, that was power. And I think there was, might have been some fiber. But, unfortunately, with USIC having a lot of contracts, they locate for many different people. So, if one gets held up, they all get held up. And, you just got to make that decision. But I would caution you here, and I said this other day, at the end of the 3 hour, it's really, that's what the law meant. So remember back when we saw on these tickets, retransmits are really, and the CSRs, if you call back in or if you go into your, locator logic and request a ticket or excuse me, RTE, you can request a retransmit. But really a retransmit is like if you need to update some information within that 3 days, that's really what that's meant more for. Or you needed, you needed to change something. But
Set your time.
So if they have, doesn't that reset the time?
no. It does not. All that is another notice say, hey, here, but it really doesn't. All it does, it costs money. The retransmit does nothing more than gets retransmitted, and there could be 6 transmissions. So if you guys get a ticket with the city of Durham, you're going to be paying another transmission. So at that point, I would say, after the new ticket, you've done what the law says, no response, request a 3 hour, then no response, then I would don't retransmit it because you just need to communicate. And if you're having a problem trying to figure out, you may not know the actual locator on the ground, but our supervisors. So, we can try to help you with that communication. Call me, call Parrish. I would just discourage doing that because all it does is it just retransmits the original ticket. That's all it does. Now let's talk a little bit about, I can tell you that, before and there's complaints from, just say, a contractor, we look at the complaint and say, okay, their complaint is the member did not respond based on the law. So that's all we can look at. We look at the locate ticket, see one for us if it's there, and we look at the timing. Did they respond? No. Okay, they're in violation. Easy peasy. Okay. And we have some instances where they did request a 3 hour, and then based on the response from the locator, they did that. So they were not in violation of that. That's pretty much what we review.
Instances where they're reporting no conflict and at all, even though it's a neighborhood power cable also there.
Basically the only thing that we've had so far is just based on the fact that they haven't responded in 3 days.
That's not an issue, but sure, is responding no conflict. And then when you show up and there's no power, and then it's.
Okay, let's talk about that. Good. Okay, you say it's 18.
Well, you notice that there you have.
Let's talk through some of this. So there are the screen. So if you're seeing no conflict right off, you can say check cost of response doing it, RV and no conflict, then you can probably be rest assured that it's probably being screened. Because there's no conflict. You ask that USIC later, you have that ticket, they're gonna tell you, I don't have a ticket. Because it was pre-screened. And so that's why it's showing no conflict. So, good rule of thumb is look at your positive response. If it's done just like that, you can do that, rest assured. It's,
This,
instance that,
yeah, the little
Yeah,
vendors do
yeah.
some, and they can only on that ticket at that time. That's what I've been saying a lot. And what do we do about that? Like I go pull up to a neighborhood, every other lot line.
So if you're seeing a trend like that, send me, I'm gonna give you my card. Send me some of those tickets because certainly we want to assist you in getting that rectified because I'm going to be the locator. Maybe the locator just overwhelmed, they're like, no, so no conflict. Well, I would do some of that. Certainly we can help you figure out, correct that behavior. It is, but it is certainly strong that that's going on. Up and you don't know what to do. So send me the tickets and I'll push it up and see what we can get it looked at. Because we want to help you. And I know on this is what you guys see on the ticket, you'll see contact information. And obviously on USIC, you're going to get an 800 number, not going to be your local folks. You try to come to the meeting.
They have to worry.
Right, so, we got a meeting, keep in mind, our, chairman for CA11, he's with USIC, I mean, feel free, to come be a part of that. Though you can't speak at work, there are opportunities outside the actual meeting that you can have conversations. So I would encourage you to do that. Or we'll even say, we got another one coming up. Yeah. It's November.
The conversation. You got anything else?
That's all I have. I mean, I'm here to help you all. So.
That's everything. Anything else? No, I'm good. I think you made me TV the other day, so I can be doing it.
Is that a good thing?
Okay, just the train.
Was the training good?
Yeah.
Durham. Good to me? Okay. Thank you.
Guys.
Yeah.
I got it.
Do you keep your sign-in sheet?
Yes, unless you need a copy of it.
Scott.
If I would have a copy of it.
Have y'all had any audit selection from Utility Commission?
So we had our, most of ours are in March.
Oh, okay. That's good.
March. In February, March time. You will. It's been Sanford.
Yes, and yeah, that's where I was at. Yeah, what happened to the public awareness? So, I mean, I provide Mark with as much information as I can. I mean, all these meetings, you know, documentation. I give him homeowner numbers. I give him all sorts of stuff.
More about them, good.
Yeah.